different from the other. Sometimes the grace is not always richness. Sometimes it's those things, a hardship. Let me change the perspective of hardship, because hardship, you're being equipped by God so you can help people understand and take care of how to deal with that hardship. Does that make sense? Now, if you know your purpose, then you can share all these things to other people. But I pray to God sometimes, can I get the wealth part to share? Right? I like that. I mean, I can always ask, it's my Father. And in fact, I believe if we ask hard enough, any father can't resist their children. Right? You know that, right? When those who with children, I mean, they'll ask, and before you know it, it's hard to say no. They'll eventually get their way. We all know that if you have children. So it's the same with the father. You do your best. Now, Jeremiah 29. That's really great. In Jeremiah, I want you to read this because it talks about God's plan for you. And before you were even born, your plan, God's plan is already here. You've been set for it. Let's all read Jeremiah 29. For I know Amen. So just to reinforce that there's a plan for you, right? Even before you came here. Our Father knows our needs and He will provide for us. We know that already. And again, just to put everything in this right perspective, our life here on earth is temporary. One of the subjects I teach, this is a funny story, it's real. I teach science, math, and religion, right? And in that day, it just so happens that I was talking about Genesis to my students, and so we talk about creation. We are made in 6 days and sanctified in the 7th, right? But here comes the afternoon topic. It was Earth Science Day, and we were talking about carbon dating at the age of the Earth. It's 4.6 billion years. We talk about those Cretaceous, Jurassic period, and all that. I'm sure you know, right? This student of mine asked me, Mr. Malari, how come you said we were created in the 6 days, sanctified in 7, and all of a sudden now you talk about 4.6 billion years? How does that work? Right? How would you tackle that? All right, just a little perspective that will lead to this. Is we are eternal creatures. We were made exactly what in the Bible said, 6 days. But time has no essence in the supernatural realm. Everything is instantaneous. In fact, it's a mystery that the day we understand it, it's wrong because it's always a mystery. That's a mystery of our faith. Time don't have a meaning there. So we were all created in our souls during that time. But you were designed to be delivered during your birthday. In my case, 1964. Right? So you were designed to be there at that time, and you existed. You live a life at 20, you're at the most beautiful state, right? Up to 40. After 40, you kind of degrade a little, you have more wrinkle, you gain weight, you fart more. Right? And about around 65, which is based on Social Security, that's why they give Social Security, they're expecting you to die at that time. Right? But if you compare 4.6 billion years compared to 65, if you put a line, you can even see that dot of 65 in there. And we invest on that 65 years on the wrong things. We have to invest beyond that. Because definitely, you can bring that to heaven. We'll all die. We don't even know when. As soon as we get off that road, we could die. But are you ready? Because if it's temporary, we'll dead and you have. But right now, you're closer to being accepted. I have a responsibility, being a catechist, to ask you one question about your faith. Do you believe in Jesus Christ? Because if you answer, I do, you'll be saved already. You're one step for consideration up there, rather than go to hell. So let me ask you this before I conclude this evening. Do you believe in Jesus Christ? I do. My job is done. Okay. So if, again, do not invest too much on, let's have the right perspective where you put your investments. Here on earth or after. I mean, I can cite you tons of verses to back this up, but I think you know them already. I just want you to take in the essence of it, because I think if I give you verses, it will water it down. Right? Amen? Amen. If you believe that everything I told you is correct, and you know your purpose is to be one with God, not simply to get rich, but I like rich. I can do more good things, but if God's plan for me is different, I have to take it as well. But if you accept that what's happening to you is part of God's plan, I guarantee you will be set free from your captives, which is the earthly values. You will have peace and confidence that you're fine no matter what, because your values are set straight. So, I end this evening by simply asking you, I beg of you to focus and reevaluate your life. Have a mission statement. Because you got to see, you've heard of vision and mission, right? The vision is like when you're applying for work, they even ask you that. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What your employer is actually looking for is what you put in your resume as your goal. Does it match what you're going to do? So you have this resume now to God, and that resume of your goal has just got to match how you see yourself 5 years from now. Right? And if you can see where you're going, then you can develop your own mission statement. Sounds like a corporation. Wait, I'm just an individual. No, you're an investment here. God invested on you. And you got to make sure that you identify your mission here on earth. May God be praised. Thank you very much.